Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Charles P. Malone Podcasts. My name is Charles P. Malone, aka Chuck, and I will be your host for this book reading and commentary of my book, Winning Through Trial. Today's episode 15 of Winning is titled Conclusion. Oh, can you believe it? It's the end. Well, maybe it's just the beginning. Who knows? But this particular chapter begins on page 366 with a famous line from William Shakespeare in Romeo and Juliet. Parting is such sweet sorrow. That seems to reflect the void that I have begun to feel, knowing our time together is coming to an end. We have become friends, you and I, brothers and sisters from the same heavenly parents, united by an earthly purpose to become all that we can be, and not just endure. I have visualized you throughout the creative process of writing this book, and I have cried with you as I felt your loss, even stiffened as I felt your negative self-talk, mirroring the history of my own. I prayed to God for a blessing upon you, as I, too, have felt the pain of struggle, trying to regain a stable footing in an unstable world. In the many pleadings I lifted upward to heaven on your behalf, I also prayed that I might be raised above my worldly failings, to express to you the heaven-inspired words of hope and encouragement, to carry you over the bar of trial, not only to place or show, endure, but to win and become mighty. As an author and brother in spirit, it has been my pleasure to share a significant piece of my life with you, in hopes of helping you prepare for the next trial and fortify you against unexpected opposition. My experiences of tasting a sweetness while in the depths of despair opened portals of opportunity to change, 7 of which were shared as winning ways within the pages of this book. So let's take a stroll down memory lane, you and I, and try to remember a few of the highlights of each chapter. I shared with you in chapter 1, when trial struck a blow, how long it took before my first call was to God. I hope winning way number 1, to call upon God as your first call when trial strikes, has made a lasting impression on you. If you internalize only this one principle of truth taught in this book, my sacrifice of many hours of precious time to get it right will have been worth the effort I put into this book, for it sets the foundation of every truth principle taught herein. Another set point in the Ring of Life was taught in chapter 2, introduced as the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, is a reminder that unlike attaining success in life, trial will likely hit when you least expect it. So internalize the Boy Scout motto to be prepared. Remember to determine your anchor in life and then secure it as part of your preparation before the next trial hits. Another essential truth principle in your preparation for trial and or success in life is the condition of your attitude. Remember the chapter title, Attitude Begets Behavior? Chapter 3 is dedicated to teaching you how to feed your brain on foods of success instead of grazing at the smorgasbord table on empty content. You will want to spend more time in Chapter 3 studying how to program your brain with positive responses to opposition. What I love about the study of attitude is that we have a choice of which flavor of attitude we will possess. We also are in control of our mindset. Will we train our brain to see the glass half full or half empty? In this case, we are each the author of our own play. You can write the script for your legacy of how you want to be remembered. Chapter 3 will help you learn how. I have mentioned choice a few times in my closing comments, but Chapter 4 was all about choice. To make correct choices consistently takes discipline. It also takes commitment. And this is where choosing your anchor proves to be a valuable decision. You really need to give some serious thought to what kind of person you want to be. Then choose how you want to anchor yourself and to whom. This is like fixing your eyes to the North Star for direction and stability. Remember my anchor? I chose God and Jesus Christ as my co-pilots and have never been sorry for that decision. Winning way number 4 taught us how to keep an open mind when trial and opposition strikes. Where is the opportunity in trial, you ask? Well, that's a good question. Do you remember the definition of opportunity I used in chapter 4 as found in the dictionary? A set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. That's opportunity. Don't you just love that? Okay, I admit I had to search a bit to find it, but there it was in Mr. Webster's dictionary. The entire book, Winning Through Trial, aligns with that definition. It teaches from page 1 that trial is necessary to create circumstances powerful enough to open the door to your mind and heart to change. Otherwise, we are usually just too consumed with being status quo and not at all looking for opportunity to become. That is a big difference. Being or becoming. Each of us will experience hinge points throughout our life, and it has been my perfect hindsight 2020 vision that trial has been most often one of the hinges. Would you happen to remember me telling you how chapter 5 came to be? Oh, I didn't want to listen, but I ended up acting upon those impressions anyway and created a chapter for just spiritual gifts, hidden talents, and miracles, which are often born during periods of trial and opposition. Chapter 5 was so exciting to write and ponder over every truth principle taught. There is so much room for personal interpretation of chapter 5. I just love it. Each gift, talent, and miracle is personal. They belong to you. And there is no measurement or grading by the curve to tell you which attribute is a gift or a talent. And each miracle. I see miracles quite often in my business, spiritual, and family life, but they never make the church news. A gift is just that, a gift, but it is to be shared for it to grow. You might inherit a family trait or talent from ancestral genes, but if you keep it under a bushel, it won't grow, I promise. In fact, it will likely die. I hope so much that you followed the training in chapter 5 to help you discover your gifts and talents that you feel so blessed to be. You. I promise there is no one like you. And yes, there are some miracles worthy of making the church news, but that isn't the purpose of miracles mostly. They are miracles only if you see them as such with your spiritual eyes and humble heart. I am a commission-only real estate agent. I have been for 53 going on 54 years and counting. I can tell you without a shout of a hesitation that God is in the details of our lives and will show his hand so often. Like the time during COVID-19 when I just happened to send an email to a former client of mine asking how things were and if I could help in any way. And this circumstantial email led to a family referral wanting to move closer to their daughter. And with the shortage of homes available, the wife was inspired to call a builder in a retirement section of a local community, which led me to getting involved, which helped secure an inventory home that had just fallen through. And yes, this was a miracle. The buyer initially wasn't even interested in looking at a retirement community. Winning way number 5 taught us to trust in God. If you can't think of one gift or talent or miracle in your life, then ask God for one. I promise He is in the details of your life and has made it clear throughout the ages that He wants to bless you to grow and become successful in all your righteous endeavors. You can trust Him. Chapter 6 prepared us to better understand the nature and purpose of trial in our lives. We learned the importance of trusting in the Lord, and now we're going to learn to look at trial very differently than the neighbor down the street who just lost his job and acts out feelings of despair and anger, just like the movies portray a person should act when such trial hits. He puts on his pouty face, defeated, still in his PJs at noon, unshaven, empty root beer cans strewn all over the kitchen, accompanied by stacks of half-empty pizza boxes, and just stares at a blank TV screen, forgetting to even turn it on. Maybe he attaches a skull and crossbones picture to his home office door and won't come out. Try seeing opportunity with all that going for you. Without battle, there is no win. That was the subtitle of chapter 6, if you'll remember. It's a battle cry of sorts, or a call to arms that change is a-comin'. And it is to be our choice as to what that change will be. Winning way number 6 taught us that failure is necessary for discovering who we really are, and that inserting the failing forward mindset is a choice, a higher plane of understanding that God didn't make no junk, and He certainly didn't make us to stay down once we were dealt a right hook in the ring of life. Chapter 7 turns very personal and is dedicated to my grandson, Mighty Jake, an invitation to us all to be mighty. We learned that being mighty leads to winning, and winning is a state of becoming. So, do you remember how one becomes mighty? The quiz. There has to be a quiz, right? If you accept the world's interpretation of the word mighty, then showing great power, skill, or strength in battle would probably be your first choice of definition. Maybe imposing size in the form of a Goliath or a seemingly unreachable station in life. Colorful stripes on your uniform, maybe? How do you think you are doing on the quiz? But in our time together, you learned a few new definitions of mighty that did not include one having an advantage over another or the feeling of fear. It didn't include any of the world's characteristics of one we might think of as mighty. My grandson Jacob, I'm sorry, I just get emotional when I tell his story, but he would qualify as one who is mighty. He was born autistic, shunned at school, not welcomed in quiet surroundings, underwent never-ending hospital stays, and lives with an everyday uncertainty of whether today may be his last, from a blood clot in his chest to a diagnosis of a fatal disease, mitochondria. I could fill up another book listing conditions that would qualify someone as being mighty, but I think for the purpose of our conclusion to this book, if you have arrived on planet Earth as spirit offspring of heavenly parents, to possess a body of flesh and bone, to gain experience, to more fully achieve a full measure of your creation in preparation for your future eternal life throughout the eternities, then, my dear brother and sister, you already have the seeds of greatness within you to become mighty. Our exemplar, Jesus Christ, was sent to earth by the Father to show us the way to become mighty. His people, the Jewish community, misinterpreted his mission as one of mighty strength to rescue them from bondage from Roman law by force and power. But his message then and now is still the same. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls, for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Found in Matthew 11:28-30. Jesus came to free us from personal bondage in the form of burdens carried as a result of trial, poor choices, unforeseen circumstances, and spiritual and physical weariness, that we may become mighty through his word and indeed through service to others, by yoking ourselves to him through his atonement, that our burdens may be light, lifted from us. I think the Apostle Paul would understand what this book is about when he boldly instructed his longtime friend Timothy to fight the good fight of the faith. In Paul's own words, he has left for each of us no better vision of having completed our own personal journey toward becoming than is stated so beautifully in 2 Timothy 4, verse 7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. It is my humble prayer that in our time together within the pages of this book, you have better understood who you are and who you can become. You have the seeds of greatness within you to be nourished and fed, sometimes broken and bruised, then healed to become stronger and live to achieve the full measure of your creation as a son and a daughter of God. You are nobility. You are special. You are mighty. And you were born to win. In the spirit of my Irish ancestry, may I leave upon you a little Irish blessing, that you may have a world of wishes at your command, God and his angels close at hand, friends and family their love impart, and Irish blessings in your heart. Until we meet again to share a new adventure. Chuck out.